In this issue of Videofashion Style, lingerie is uncovered. Britain's Agent Provocateur show how they've earned their name.
You want to show off your underwear, so it's about partying and it's about flashing your knickers, basically.
The Laken star seduces with retro glamour.
We want people to enjoy themselves. It makes lingerie a lot more accessible, I think.
Take an in-depth look at lingerie through the years at FIT's Exposed, a history of lingerie.
I think that the history of lingerie is really the history of fashion.
Fred and Ginger bring surreal style to the bedroom.
I want to get every self-respecting male and female wearing Fred and Ginger.
Intimates raise awareness along with blood pressure at the 7 Bar Foundation Lingerie New York show.
I'm just learning, about altruism and how beautiful it could be when you mix it up with some sexy hot event.
Meet Victoria's Secret's Angels.
I think once you get out there, everything kind of lets loose.
Plus an inside look at lingerie legend Fernando Sanchez. In 2011, London's Agent Provocateur took its naughty business uptown with the opening of its Madison Avenue, Manhattan flagship store.
We've always had Agent Provocateur shops in Soho type areas. And we launched a collection called Soiree, which is a top-end collection where the bras start at 250 quid. And it ended up being a huge success. Madison is one of the most glamorous roads in New York, and we were like, right, let's have a store here. Soiree we launched about 2 years ago, and it's actually been a huge hit. We always have big fashion shows, and when we were having the fashion shows, we used to make one-off outfits, and we had a lot of people phoning up going, oh, I want the crystal play suit, or I want the leather corset with studs on it, and that's how it all kind of came about, because people were wanting these special pieces, so we decided to start Soiree. And the whole idea about Soiree is you want to show off your underwear, so it's about partying and it's about flashing your knickers, basically. The key's been that we cater for every kind of woman, so it all kind of just works. We've just launched a new fragrance called L'Agent, and it's great, very sexy, it's very musky, and it's all about the strong woman. And she likes to have fun, she works hard through the day. She likes to go out, she likes to stop out all night maybe, and sometimes just rock straight into work. So it's got a little secret ingredient, which is obviously pheromones, and it's really beautiful. Everyone really likes it, and the men love it.
The architectural firm from the 1960s and 70s from Italy called Super Studio, and they had done a lot of literature and artwork about the ideas of form and function versus design, and a lot of anti-design manifestos. So we were thinking a lot about how lingerie for us functions.
The designers wanted the girls to look very fresh, very pale, to look like they just got out of bed, put their hair up, and just put on some lipstick.
I'm very passionate about these two young women. They are part of the Echo Domani competition and one of the winners for this season. And their lingerie is beyond just something that you wear under clothes. They're really something that are very special. They're super feminine.
For us, it wasn't so much about spreading our wings. It was about giving us the confidence and the encouragement to be able to do something in a live setting. For us, we're kind of insular, and we're apart from the fashion or the ready-to-wear community, and so we usually design our collections, you know, in our rooms and together, and we do our campaigns. We shoot our campaigns with our small group of friends, and so for this, it really opened it up so that we were on a bigger stage, and there's more of a dialogue between us and the fashion community. It's a conscious choice for us to cast in a cinematic way, the way that you would cast for a movie, different girls or different characters. It's not about a certain body type. We just want the girls to look beautiful in the garments. Different garments are meant for different body types. And there you go. We think they're all really beautiful. And each and every one of these women are amazing people. We know all of them.
I think the presentation is terrific. Make sure you check out the guards' names. There's a little tongue-in-cheek with all of that as well, but a really beautiful collection and a really talented pair of girls, and Lake and Stars is the label that people are going to really want to pay attention to.
This is all supposed to be a good time. You know, people asked us backstage, are you freaking out? We're like, no. If we were freaking out, we wouldn't be here. This is supposed to be a good time.
We want people to enjoy themselves. It makes lingerie a lot more accessible, I think.
This exhibit is called Exposed, A History of Lingerie, and it explores lingerie from the mid-18th century to the present. I think that the history of lingerie is really the history of fashion. You get such a great sense of the shift in silhouette, of how women were thinking about their bodies, thinking about comfort, and I think that really plays out in this chronology. I have a corset from about 1770, and that is shaped using whalebone. So it's this beautiful sky blue silk, very structured, something that was really obligatory for many women during the 18th century. Next to that, we have a quilted petticoat, and that's from just a little bit earlier, the 1760s. Well, the 19th century is fascinating in its own right because you start to see the majority of lingerie pieces become somewhat demure. I have a brown corset, which is really beautifully top-stitched, but in general, relatively plain. Comfort certainly becomes of more concern in the 20th century. Some of my favorite examples of that are advertisements or photographs of corsets or girdles from the 1920s. And there's a lot of images of women actually bending over, touching their toes while they're wearing these corsets to prove that these are flexible and wearable, but they're still shaping your body in a desirable way. Shifts happen quite quickly. You start to see things like the modern bra, essentially a bandeau-style bra. And then the girdle of the 1930s, which was usually referred to as a corselet. It's an all-in-one garment that really smooths and slims the figure, but it doesn't really mold it in that extreme way that we saw in the 19th century. We have a couture petticoat from Christian Dior that was made to be worn under a really beautifully embroidered evening gown. So you start to see this return of the hourglass silhouette in the 1950s. And then by the 60s, all of that has gone away. So we see these really liberating, structureless garments. And I think looking at the 50s and the 60s is really fascinating because we still see a lot of styles from both of those eras make their way into contemporary fashion. The contemporary pieces that I have in the exhibition are from some of the well-known high-end lingerie brands like Agent Provocateur, a label that's often credited as revitalizing this idea of really erotic lingerie. I also have a set from La Perla, which is a pretty basic bra and panties set, at least as far as silhouette goes. But you can see from the embroidered tulle how they're known for this really fantastic selection of fabrics. And then I also wanted to include things like Hanky Panky because I think so many of us are familiar with that brand, the level of comfort they bring to lingerie, but also the great style that they bring.
London's Law Society, The hosts and hostesses serving champagne looked especially alluring, clad in their Fred and Ginger undies.
Fred and Ginger came from obviously Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers, and what I wanted to do was really evoke that glamour and sophistication, and that whole feel that you get when you think of Fred and Ginger. So it's not too feminine as a name, and it's not too masculine. It's about time that we got our boyfriends into something hot. The inspiration taken for this collection for Spring-Summer 2008 is surrealism of Alice in Wonderland. So you can probably see from my collection that the vivid colours, I'm using sort of strong teal, baby blue, and also some bilberry, which is lovely. The Mad Hatter print. Everything that I do here is made in London. It's all very, very high-end. The quality is impeccable. I want to get every self-respecting male and female wearing Fred and Ginger.
As if the irresistible allure of beautiful women in lavish lingerie weren't enough to attract tastemakers and power players, the 7-Bar Foundation's goal to provide impoverished women with small business loans drew a philanthropic crowd to their Lingerie New York show.
Microfinancing, the empowerment of women in third world countries, and I'm just learning, about altruism and how beautiful it could be when you mix it up with some sexy hot event.
Well, who doesn't love lingerie? And it's a great cause for women. It's, bringing the, lower poverty level to be middle class, and it supports women and their ventures in business. And I think it's a great thing.
I'm a former lingerie model, and I put myself through law school by modeling. So for me, it was a means to an end. So it's a personal cause. I think it's really creative, and it's something, the fun of it. People are excited about it. Microfinancing is basically giving women the financial structure, the actual economic empowerment, giving them the funds and helping them to achieve their dreams so that they can actually be self-sufficient.
You're going to be seeing some outrageously sexy, unbelievable couture lingerie. You'll see. It's quite magical, quite over the top.
The theme of the collection is the LA Confidential movies, with the story about Veronica Lake and also the glamour of the woman of the movies. It's important for me because my lingerie is a femininity, glamour and raffiné. And I love the movie with Kim Basinger, and we try to find the same spirit in my the beautiful déshabillé, like the year 40, 50. We work only silk. We do silk all the time. It's my premier material, silk and lace, and all the collection is the most beautiful silk with the silk from Hermes is the same quality of silk, and the lace is from Calais, and this is the sensuality of the lace also. It's my anniversary, and also when I starting business, it was also in the same way with microfinance. It's why I'm very happy to participate in this kind of event. And the lingerie I love because my passion is lace and lingerie.
The evening took an unexpected twist when contortionist models extended from the ceiling, wearing 7Bar's new Why Not thong.
I saw the dancers because I'm DJing, so I got to come here for rehearsals and I got to see them in action, and I think it's going to be a pretty cool show.
Specializing in latex lingerie, Atsuko Kudo has dressed stars like Lady Gaga, Beyonce, and Eva Mendes in her kinky couture.
100%, yeah, 100% latex. It's amazing fabric. There's not many people hasn't really, tried or discovered yet. But I think I want to be able to show a lot of people it's a new, exciting fabric.
Atsuko actually prints on the latex. It's going to be like leopard print on there, And then there's going to be some lace trim. Atsuko does a lot of very feminine things. You can see it's pink, it's flowery. It's not like black and from a dungeon. With the latex, she's kind of taking it somewhere new because it's quite a new fabric. And so to work with those styles, but in that fabric, it takes it, you know, into another area. It's glamorous. It's still very, very glamorous, but it's got that sexy edge because latex is associated with the erotic. And I think that's the two together.
They asked me to come out and end their show, which I'm so fantastically excited about. I'm wearing a very cool jacket. It's cinched at the waist. I might do a bit of an open up on the runway. A fantastic bra. And I'm wearing a very tight skirt that is cut just so, like, perfect for my body. And, of course, the black poodle. I think it's fantastic anytime that you can give your services to help others, so that's why I'm here.
Hennessy came into the picture, Hennessy Black, and they actually sponsored my moment in the show, which is the light goddess corset, LED, like light up, injection molded lace corset. I'm an entrepreneurial woman, you know, I mean, I started out my modeling career with a small loan from my uncle. You know, and that's how I got started. So to be part of something that would give that same chance back to women around the world who are in much different circumstances that are much more dire than ones that I've ever experienced is a great opportunity.
It was bombshells away backstage at this year's Victoria's Secret fashion show. Before the angels hit the runway, we found out how they prep their heavenly bodies for the sexiest show of the season.
This is a special show, so you definitely take it up a notch with your trainer and just like make sure you're tight everywhere.
I worked out 7 days a week, every day until yesterday, basically.
Do cardio, do a little bit of body sculpting, make sure everything is tight.
I love to just eat healthy. Work out every day, and you know, lots of protein and vegetables.
I have not been eating carbs, sugar, or red meat for the past 3 weeks.
Once a year, you know, for 4 days, I stop eating chocolate. That's what I do once a year. My first outfit, it's a tutu and a beautiful ballerina corset, very romantic. And then I go into a piece of lingerie, and it has these amazing wings. They are made out of real gold and crystals and turquoises.
The real star of the show, the Victoria's Secret Fantasy Treasure Bra, valued at $2.5 million.
It has 142 carats of diamonds, and it has over 3,400 stones. It has cultured pearls, aquamarines, and citrines. Miranda is delicious as a person, and she looks sumptuous in it. And London Jewelers is very proud to have her being represented for the bra.
Let's go! Lost tonight. We have Kanye West tonight. That's amazing. Play secretary, I'm the boss tonight, and you don't give up what they all say, right? We have Maroon 5 performing, and that's going to be really cool.
I'm just gonna go for it and try to have fun, you know, dance around, you know. It's Nicki Minaj is performing when I walk out, so it's gonna be amazing.
You're strong. I think the angel attitude is hear the music, just enjoy the show.
I think once you get out there, like everything kind of lets loose.
It's definitely a show where you have to like get rid of your inhibitions. In the end of the day, everybody sees you half naked on the runway.
Fernando Sanchez was a legend in the fashion world, known for taking lingerie out of the boudoir and into the streets. As a boy in Spain, Sanchez would sketch clothing in his math books during school. After studying in Paris, a stint as a lingerie designer for the House of Dior brought him to New York, and it was only a matter of time before Sanchez began designing for himself. Sanchez passed away in 2006. Here's a look back at a visit we paid him in 1993.
Nearly as a joke, it all started because someone asked me, remembering the collections at Dior, they asked me to do a lingerie collection. When I was a kid, I loved comic strips, and the very kind of fanciful ladies of the comic strips. I also liked all the Hollywood glamour movies. And I did a collection for fun, as a joke, of movie-like, Hollywood-like, glamour queen-like lingerie. I think as a philosophy it is, no, I guess it's close for privileged life because it's not the daily work, it's not the hustling in the cities, it is a horizontal life or a very relaxed life. It's I think we're designed for a lifestyle. Maybe it can be defined that way. That's why it's very difficult for me to, when they tell me I'm doing lingerie, no, I'm not doing lingerie, I'm doing clothes for a certain segment of a woman's life, which does not pertain to the daily hustle, bustle thing, the other side.
It was his approach to the other side that won him so many ardent fans, including the friends and co-workers at this photo shoot for a 1994 ad campaign.
I find him very marvelous. Not only does he make clothes that are very feminine, they're well constructed, the fabrics are all very delicate, very soft, very comfortable to wear, so it feels like you're wearing couture without anything restricting or really binding.
The clothes are very sensual and beautiful. If you get to feel the fabric, it's soft. It's like Fernando. It's direct. It's very gentile, very soft. And he's also a very elegant man. So his clothes reflect that in a way to make the girls feel wonderful. The fabric, when it caresses the skin, it's really beautiful work.
Very feminine, very special, I would say. He really thinks in the women's body and really knows how to make them look good.
Fernando's clothes are just absolutely pure, sexy. They make you feel so good, so feminine.
Talking about romance and the allure of lingerie, I think that as well as jewelry, probably shoes, furs, even it has become a forbidden word, lingerie are items of clothing that go much further than fashion, because for me they also represent a sensual attitude, a sexual attitude. Shoes can be totally fetishistic. Furs as an element of sensuality that will always see when a woman reacts to our lingerie, furs, jewelry, there's a reaction which is totally beyond the fashion thing. It is, they want to have it. It excites other elements mentally, which I find very, very interesting. And I think that's one of the reasons I like lingerie, because I like what it provokes in people. It's beyond the fashion world. Is it in, is it out, is it long, is it short? It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the sensual appeal. It has to do with wanting to be enticing. And kind of an instinctive attitude, I need to have it. You see? You might need to have a sweater, but you definitely want to have that beautiful rock, or you want to have this sable coat, or you want to have this slippery nightgown because you have a lover, you have a husband, you want to have one, whatever.